Hey crew, John G in the house. I am telling you, ponds done wrong. Oh my God, this video is going to be insane. My buddy hired us to come out and add some filtration onto this water feature. It was already a POS. Y'all know what that means, okay? We're gonna try to just amp it up a little bit with some great filters, and what happens? We get out there, one thing after another. You watch the video, you will see all the madness. We end up dropping a nuclear bomb on this thing. My team absolutely destroys this feature and turns it into paradise. I just went out, got some beautiful Japanese koi from another pond, took them over there, put them in. I'm going to go back out there tomorrow. You're going to hear from my buddy Tom about how it was to do business with Modern Design Aquascaping. I won't spend too much energy on how bad it was doing business with the guys before us, but you're going to get to witness this absolutely amazing transformation. I know you're going to love the video, guys. Stay tuned and watch our team knock this koi pond out of the park.
So there's something down in this chimney. Trying to figure out exactly what it is.
Hey guys, Tristan Adams, Modern Design Aquascaping. Get me out of here! Oh God! Hey Jake.
What's up, man?
You got what's that on your shoe?
Oh, some very enriched dirt.
Yeah.
What's the other word for
Smells
it?
pretty good.
It's the fancy word, dog poop. Yeah. Yeah. It's really high quality stuff, you know. I would recommend it.
Hey everybody, Tristan Adams with Modern Design Aquascaping, and we have a crazy story here. So we're somewhere in Knoxville, Tennessee, undisclosed location today, and let me share some of the stuff with us about you. So what brought us out here in the first place is we've got this pond behind me, and this pond has a plethora of issues, which I'll get into in just a little bit, but what brought us here in the first place was simply adding filtration. So we were gonna put a skimmer box on this thing. We got a biofall, so a biological filter going at the top end, new plumbing line, because in this pond over here, this deep section where the pump lives right now, that was where their skimmer was at, installed inside the pump. So you never really know what you're gonna get when you've got a pond that was built by someone who is not a pond professional. And in this case, we have the underwater secret base of skimmer boxes. This perfect rectangle of 3 to 6 to 12-inch stones right here is the disguise for our super secret skimmer lid. That's what we've got. So these guys actually installed the skimmer box underwater in the middle of this pond. So the skimmer box was installed inside the pond, 12 inches underwater level. So if you wanted to get in there to clean that thing, you would literally have to get in the pond, swimming, pull the rocks off the top, pull the media apart, and pull everything out. Absolutely terrible design. That is not what you do with a skimmer box. Skimmer box is installed on the outside of the pond with a waterproof seal that keeps it there. We got that thing torn out. Now let's see what is actually inside this thing. And we found right after that 6 holes in the bottom of the pond. And I'm not talking little pinholes. I'm talking like, looks like someone took a knife and stabbed at. It is literally a layer of black silicone. Silicone is not supposed to be a patch. We're not supposed to make patches with silicone. That's silly. like huge holes in the bottom. So there's a ton of water underneath the liner, which is also an issue that you don't want because the hydraulic pressure pushes stuff around, it's moving, it's just not a good scenario. So the more we kept looking, the more bad stuff we were finding. He was scared after that, the client was, because he knew that there was a seam that had been done straight through the middle of the pond going side to side. And he was scared that that had failed too because all the patches had failed. So when we pulled off a boulder out of the middle of the pond, right where he said that seam was gonna be, we found like an 80-pound sandbag that was on top of the liner to try and pinch it together with the boulder on top, just to compression seal the water in, which we know that's not gonna work. You know, compression seal, you know what that is? It's a joke. It doesn't happen not like that. So not only do we have a bunch of holes in the bottom of the pond, a skimmer that is buried underneath the water where you got to swim to get to it, but now we have a failed seam running straight through the middle of the pond with a 1,000-pound rock on each corner so that you can't even pull it up and get a proper seam. It's just a whole fiasco of stuff. So then we went up into the stream to see if there was a seam, and we literally just pulled the liner up. No, nothing. Like, he put silicone on some of the ones down here, which silicone is not supposed to be patch. It's not a patch. Not supposed to do that anyways. But he didn't even use silicone up at the top. So we just had literal water running down and then right back underneath the liner and underneath the pool at the top end. So we went from having all these weird issues right off the bat to this thing isn't even functional. We figured out the water level was actually 8 inches lower than where it had been being filled to, causing a lot of water to run over the liner anyways. And this is actually the lowest point in this liner is all the way down here. This little flap. If you're overfilling your pond because you don't technically know where full is, that can cause that as well. And what happens when you have a bunch of water overflowing for a long period of time and you just keep dumping water, keep adding water, is more and more water builds up underneath the liner and it takes even longer to go down. So that hydraulic pressure just keeps building and pushing those stones to the side. And you can always see your liner. But it had so many holes in the bottom the water could get back in. I guess that's it's not how that's supposed to work, but for the time being, that's what we had. So after finding all this stuff, we're 3 days into this now, and man, is he unhappy because, wouldn't you be? You got this giant pond that you're only allowed to fill a third of the way up. You got holes all in the bottom of it. There's seams failed all over the place. You're losing all your water. Something has to be done to fix this. There's plenty of options. We could have just tried to patch these ones the best we could, get the seam going across where the old seam was that failed, and try and see if we could get this thing to hold water. But really, it was time to replace the liner in this thing. Generally, if you find a couple holes and you've only exposed a small section, there's gonna be more. And without tearing the whole pond out, getting all the rocks out, there's no way for you to actually find those holes to fix them. So, we got on talk about replacing the liner, and now we have decided to go with a full-blown modern design aquascaping ecosystem pond in its stead. So we are actually blowing this thing out of the water right now. We're about to get started on this. We're taking all the rocks out. We're getting them out of here. We're expanding the pond, blowing it up a little bit. We're actually taking the stream, which is right now facing down the hill away from the house, and redirecting all the waterfalls to where they're falling towards the viewing areas, towards the windows and screened-in porch, the patio that the cameraman, Jake Nolan, is on right now. Everything's going to be geared to where you can actually see it from over here. You're going to have a 2.5 foot deep pond all the way across. Fish cave, aquatic plants. This thing is going to be sick. Good news is we can fix it, and that is what we are here to do. So we're going from annoying leaky pond to awesome, artistic, leak-free water feature. And we're going to get wrapping up on that right now. So stay tuned. We're out.